Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Austin. This beautiful day. Let's continue this video. So, guys, we've got a lot to talk about in today's video. We got the Week 12 college football recap, 2 Friday night games, and a lot of Saturday games. So, let me say, guys, let's continue this video. So, guys, Oregon destroys Minnesota 42-13. There's not much to talk about in this game. Oregon pretty much dominated Minnesota, so good win for the Ducks. Oregon gets a nice win at home against Minnesota. The USC game next week's big. That's a big game against USC. We'll preview that game some more this upcoming week. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. Clemson going on the road and taking down 20th ranked Louisville, 20-19. Very surprised by this result. Honestly, I thought Louisville was going to crush Clemson in this game, but good win for Clemson. Good win for Clemson. Really nice win for the Tigers. Clemson gets a nice win on the road, and I think Louisville's actually not a bad team. They have 2 heartbreaking losses. They had that heartbreaking loss last week in overtime against California at home. And then they had this loss to Clemson. I mean, Louisville could have won this game. Their field goal, their kicker missed a 40-yard kick. Just killer football for Louisville, honestly. I feel bad for Louisville. They've had back-to-back heartbreaking losses. Louisville has 3 losses, right? Yeah, they have 3 losses. Remember, they had an overtime loss early in the season against Virginia at home. So Louisville's had a lot of close losses. So Louisville's not a bad team. They're really not a bad team, in my opinion. Anyway, let's move on to the Saturday games. We'll have UCLA going on the road to play number 1 ranked Ohio State. Ohio State destroys UCLA. Is that surprising? No. 48-10. Let's move on. Anyway, noon Eastern on the Big Ten Network. Second-ranked Indiana proves to 11-0. They beat Wisconsin 31-7. Kind of a low-scoring game in Indiana. It was like 10-7 at halftime. It was like 17-7 at half. But Indiana, they control most of it. Actually, I believe their quarterback. I forgot his name, but I believe he broke the most touchdowns or he tied the most touchdowns in program history, so congratulations to him. Anyway, Indiana wins 31-7 that one. This game was crazy right here. This South Carolina Texas A&M game, this game between South Carolina and Texas A&M was crazy, guys. South Carolina was winning this game 30-3 at halftime. I was like going crazy. It's like, how is A&M losing to a 3-6? I know South Carolina's not terrible. They're better than the record says they are. But how is A&M? They're the third-ranked team in the country. They're losing by like 27 points at home against a 3-6 team. How is that even happening? But then A&M, they turn it on in the second half, especially in that third quarter. They scored easily in the third quarter. South Carolina couldn't do nothing on offense. And great win for Texas A&M. This is a great win for A&M. 31-30. This is like one of the best comebacks, and this is actually the biggest comeback for A&M in program history. This might be one of the biggest comebacks in college football history. It's definitely up there. Good win for A&M. Might be one of the best games of the year. Anyway, moving on. This game's at 3:30 on ABC. The A&M game is at noon Eastern on ESPN. Oklahoma goes on the road. 11th-ranked Oklahoma goes into Tuscaloosa and takes down number 4-ranked Alabama 23-21. Oklahoma, man, what a great win at Alabama. Kellen DeBoer's first home loss as the head coach of Alabama. Alabama's lost in that stadium in like 2 years, so great win for Oklahoma. Alabama made a lot of mistakes. They had a missed field goal, fumbles. It was just bad. But Oklahoma just capitalized on those mistakes. So good win for Oklahoma on the road at Alabama. That's a great win for the Sooners. And then 7:30 on ABC, Georgia destroys Texas 35-10. This game went exactly how I knew this game was going to go like this. I knew exactly how. I knew Georgia was going to blow out Texas. I always thought Texas finally got exposed. Texas is terrible. Arch Manning is mid. This team is not good. Texas is not a very good team. I know what Herbstreit was saying they can still make the playoffs. No. Texas should not make the playoffs. Texas is not even a very good team. I'm sorry, guys. Texas is not a good team. I like Georgia. Georgia's a very good football team. I think Georgia's definitely a solid team. And they tell me, with Alabama losing, maybe we could see like a Georgia-Texas A&M SEC championship. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. So at 3:30 on Fox, UCF just absolutely destroyed by Texas Tech, 48-9. No surprises there. UCF's not very good. Texas Tech is very good. One of the best teams in the Big 12. Anyway, Florida Ole Miss. I was keeping a close eye on this game. Florida probably could have won this game, to be honest with you guys. I thought, honestly, Florida was going to win, honestly. Florida controlled most of this game. They were winning in most of it. But Ole Miss makes a late comeback. They ended up winning 34-24. But what was that call on 4th and 7? Why did they do like a Hail Mary to play call on 4th down and 7? Am I the only one that thinks it's a little ridiculous? You only need, I know you're at your own 2-yard line, but there's still 2 minutes left. I forgot how much timeouts they had, but that's ridiculous. That's a terrible play call. But Ole Miss does get the win 34-24 against Florida. Good win for Ole Miss. It's a kind of a shaky one against Florida. To be honest with you guys, they're not very good. They just got destroyed by Kentucky on the road last week. Florida's not a very good team, so maybe a little shaky for Ole Miss. Maybe some things to clean up, but a win is a win. So anyway, move on to the next game. 9th-ranked Notre Dame goes on the road. It's 22-ranked Pitt. With College Game Day being there and the hype being there, Notre Dame crushes that. They destroy. They go on the road, destroy Pitt. They just murder them. Great win for Notre Dame on the road. I think against a good Pitt team. Pitt's not great, which we figured out today, but they're good. So good win for Notre Dame on the road. I think Notre Dame's definitely going to make the playoffs. They have Syracuse next week. They have no offense, and they play at Stanford, also one of the worst teams in the ACC. Anyway, this game at 10:15 on ESPN. BYU, after getting they only scored 7 points last week, almost got shut out on the road to Texas Tech last week. They come back against like a decent TCU team and win 44-13. Great win for BYU. They're probably going back in the playoff picture. Look at them. They destroy, I think, I would say good, a decent or average TCU team. That's a great win for BYU at home. And then 13th-ranked Utah destroys Baylor 55-28. Baylor's decent. They're not bad. They're not good. They're just average. Good win for Utah. They score 50 points on the road. That's a good win for the Utes. Utah, I think, is a really good team also. Anyway, this one really shocked me. NC State's a decent team. They're not like a bad team. But Miami, man, they just destroyed NC State. NC State couldn't do nothing. Miami wins 41-7. This game came in 41-0. NC State scores a garbage time touchdown late, but good win for Miami. They get the nice win against NC State, 41-7. Anyway, Georgia Tech struggles. They hang on the road against a one-win Boston College team and win 36-34. You take the win, but man, this was an ugly football game. Good offensive performance late. Georgia Tech gets the win, but you need to clean some things, man. That's not. I mean, they before the bye week they had that road loss to NC State, and then they barely beat a one-win Boston College team. That's kind of embarrassing. A win is a win, though, so give credit to Georgia Tech where it's due. This one I got completely wrong. I actually picked Iowa to pull off the upset on the road. Iowa was controlling most of this game, but USC, they got a lot of crucial stuff going their way, and they do get the win 26-21. Don't know why this game was on the Big Ten Network. I feel like that Penn State-Michigan State game should have been, but that's not up to me, so I'm not going to complain about that. Anyway, Michigan goes on the road and takes down Northwestern 24-22. Northwestern really could have won this game, guys. They really could have. Northwestern could easily have won this game. But Michigan gets that late game-winning field goal to win 24-22. Northwestern controlled most of this game. They were leading most of it, but Michigan, they get the points and they need them, and they get the win. Anyway, for 19th-ranked Virginia, taking on Duke on the road. Virginia wins 34-17. No surprisers there, honestly. Virginia, no surprisers, actually. Honestly, when I picked this game, I picked Virginia, but I wasn't confident. Duke was actually favored by 5 points. But a nice win for Virginia on the road against, I think, an okay Duke team. This is not good win for Virginia. They come off that bad loss to Wake Forest at home. But man, they did come back and they beat Duke. So good win for Virginia anyway. Anyway, Tennessee wins this game 42-9. This game doesn't even matter. They destroyed New Mexico State. There's not surprising there. To be honest with you guys, Tennessee's out of the playoffs, so who really cares what they do? Honestly, Tennessee they'll finish like in 18 ranked. Tennessee's not bad, but I honestly don't care about the game too much. Anyway, 24 ranked USF drops to Navy 41-38. 41-38. USF, man, ranked, and then they lose to Navy. Memphis, they were ranked in the group of 5. Well, they weren't ranked in the committee, but they were in the group of 5 favorites, and then they lose to Tulane. And now USF does the same thing. They lose to Navy. Honestly, for the America in the group of 5, I think it's likely going to be a Tulane North Texas American Championship game. Maybe Navy could technically, they're still in the race. That's a good win against USF. I thought USF was going to crush Navy, actually, because Navy is very fraudulent. Not a good performance by USF on defense. Not against a fraudulent Navy team. Because Navy, I think, is very fraudulent. Anyway, the last game we will talk about today, Arizona goes on the road and takes down 25-ranked Cincinnati 30-24. Good win for Arizona. They get a nice win. Arizona, I know people saying Arizona's not this good team. Arizona's actually not. They're now 7-3, and they just beat I think a good Cincinnati team on the road 30-24. Good win for Arizona. Arizona's not a bad team, folks. But anyway, guys, how do you feel about this week of college football in the comment section below? Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Sorry. Have a good night. Peace out. College football week 12 is in the books. We got week 13, week 14 left, and then the conference championships, and then the college football playoff. And that's the end of the college football season. So, yep, thanks for watching. Committee rankings come out Tuesday. My prediction video comes out Monday for the next week, for week 13. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Peace out. Bye-bye.